Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the ACI Racing Weekend here at Imola, of course, fully named Autodromo Internazionale Enzo e Dino Ferrari. My name is Chaz Draycott, and I'm delighted to be back here today with Clio Cup. We have Clio Cup Europe and Clio Cup Italy on board with us today, and it's going to be an absolute joy. We had a brilliant race yesterday. Unfortunately, quite a lot of safety cars, but it was still a hell of a lot of fun. Plenty of close racing, plenty of action, and argy-bargy to go with it. It was eventually Nicolas Milan that came out on top. He was ahead of his teammate Anthony Gerardo, but Anthony would ultimately get a 25-second penalty added to his overall race time after overtaking under the safety car due to one of the restarts. That then promoted Jerezy Spinkovic into second position, the Polish driver winning the Challengers Cup as well yesterday and doing an amazing job of it ahead of David Puget, Felice Gelmini and Gabriele Torelli. Those guys had some incredible battles all the way through. As you can see though, it is very sunny here on the start-finish straight at Imola, but that does not tell you the full story of the circuit, let me tell you that for free. It absolutely caned it down just about half an hour, 45 minutes ago, just before the Formula Regional race. And my good friend Chris McCarthy had a very tricky time commentating on that, as they had a big incident and a red flag. Here is today's pole sitter though, Gio, doing an amazing job as ever. And he's a very, very happy man. Trust me, I love speaking to Mark in the paddock. He's great to be around and a very, very deserving pole sitter indeed. He has one race win and 4 podiums to his name this season, so he's certainly had a successful time of it so far. He's lining up alongside Nicolas Milan on the front row. Who else would it be? He's got 1 win this season, which he got yesterday, 1 pole position and 3 podiums to go with it. But that is an absolute tip of the iceberg when you look at his resume. Nicolas has countless victories, countless class wins, countless championships also. He is an absolute legend of the sport. On the second row, we will have this man, his main title rival from 2021, David Puget for GPA Racing. He's going to have a lot of hard work in this race because he is the only GPA racing car inside the top 10. And he's got 3 Milan competition cars around him, the 2 ahead of him and the 1 behind him that will be starting 4th on the grid. And that car is driven by Anthony Gerardo, the man that got the penalty yesterday. But I tell you what, while Anthony can sometimes get himself in a little bit of trouble, he is a very exciting driver to watch. So keep your eyes out on this blue and day-glow orange car here, the number 5 machine. He will definitely be one to watch here. He has 2 race wins, 2 pole positions and 2 podiums. Both of them came at the last race meeting, his debut this season at Jarama. It was an incredible debut in very difficult conditions, but yesterday he was classified 29th with that 25-second penalty, not to mention because the race finished behind safety car. Here's Jerezy Spinkovic, the highest qualifier in the Challengers Cup, which is for drivers, basically the younger or less experienced drivers in the field. Jerezy has been the real star of the show so far this season for Unique Racing. It's always good to have him on board. The team are a good laugh as well. Always enjoy being around them in the paddock. And here is the rest of your grid then. We'll go through the full order, shall we? Felice Gelmini will line up in 6th alongside Jerezy Spinkovic on that 3rd row. Mathieu Lanapoudon will line up in 7th, much better than yesterday. His little pal alongside him on the 4th row is Giacomo Trebbi in the number 116 car, a 205.491, his time for MC Motor Tecnica. One of the many Italian drivers in this field that really know their way around Imola. Christian Ricciarini and Gabriele Torelli make up row 5. Watch out for Gabriele in the number 12 car. Lorenzo Nicoli is also a fast driver. He's good stuff to watch, to be honest with you. A lot of fun. He will be alongside the highest placed of the gentleman drivers, Alex Lanchalotti in 12th position. Cosimo Papi is 13th with Nikola Milkovic on row 7. And then behind them we have Guillaume Mayo and Nico Ibea. Jusso Pantia is 17th with William Mazzetti alongside him on row 9. Then it's Mariano Alonso and Jacopo Chimenez rounding out your top 20. Behind them is another gentleman driver, Stefan Polderman, alongside Sandro Subek, who actually got in a little bit of trouble in qualifying earlier today. Quinto Stefano is 23rd. Thomas Pekar down in 24th place. We really expect to see Thomas higher up the order. He was telling me this morning about how long the journey is to get down here, though, from the Czech Republic, and it's a long, long way to go. Or Czechia, as it's now known. I should correct myself. Yerely Ospanov is 25th alongside Alessio Alcidi. Luciano Gioia is 27th alongside Andrea Argenti, who got caught up in an incident yesterday. Mattia Lanchalotti, the Challengers Cup driver, is alongside Horn, who starts in 30th, rounding out that top 30, but trust me, there's a lot more drivers to come. Chen Han Lin is 31st in the number 58 car, alongside Damiano Puccetti, who had a big accident yesterday at the start of the race. Vittorio Zadotti, or Zadotti I should say, is 33rd, with René Steenmetz in 34th. They're on row 17. Alex Louth and Gian Alberto Francesco Coldani, one of my favourite names on the grid, is 36th. Sandro Cutini shares row 19 with Andrea Cordini. And then we have Michel Fay, 39th, ahead of Danielle Pasquale on row 20. Douay is 41st in car 53, with Andrea Farini in the Press League by Oregon team car 333 in 42nd. And at the back of the grid is Gabriel Alonso, a man that I was speaking to just yesterday, and actually this morning as well. I saw him earlier this morning, and he told me that apparently I have a number of fans in Argentina. So I send my salutations and my well wishes to all of those in Argentina that watch along with the races as well, from Gabriel and Mariano Alonso. The two of them say that they certainly communicate with a lot of you guys out there, and they absolutely love my commentary. So I'm very flattered, and I'm really glad that you can join us for another great Clio Cup race today. As you'll have seen so far, the start is going to be behind the safety car. This circuit is honestly half wet and half dry at either end. It's going to be very treacherous for the drivers. They've got a lot of hard work to do. And you'll see when we get to Tosa, there was a lake there earlier during the Formula Regional race. The drivers started out on this dry part of the circuit. Variante Alta also looking dry at the top of the hill. And then all of a sudden they get to this humongous wet patch later in the lap. And it was a very different kettle of fish. Safety car gets going then and makes its way down the straight towards Tamburello. Following on is Marc Guillot, Nicolas Milan, David Pouget, Anthony Gerardo and Jerzy Spinkovic, your top 5. Trebi looking good at the 116 car ahead of Ricciarini. Those two starting 8th and 9th on the grid, the two Italian drivers, very experienced around here at Imola, and it has been showing that these drivers know this place inside out. You know, the pace that we've seen from them has been absolutely fantastic. A number of other drivers commenting on that as well, saying these guys really do know this place. You know, they've got a lot of time around this track, a lot of laps under their belt, and we've got a lot of cars as well on our entry list. This second race of the weekend does include all 43 that have entered, so despite some of the damage to the cars that we saw from yesterday's incidents, we do still have a full grid, which is absolutely wonderful to see. René Steenmetz had a problem in qualifying this morning as well, actually, the number 55 car. There was a lot of oil and fluid all over the front of his car, to go with the big old dent that was in the right-hand door as well from yesterday. So it's good to see that he is back out there. It's never good when you see the drivers sort of having issues in qualifying and wondering whether they will make it back out there for the race. But as you see though, it's really dried out quite quickly here at Imola. That's the run up from Tosa up towards Piratella. And I tell you what, me and my good friend Chris were taking a walk of the circuit earlier, and it's incredibly steep from Tosa up to Piratella. You really do not understand it until you've seen it in person. You can see it's still very wet down there though at Acqua Minerale. It's quite ironic really, that, isn't it? It's the wonderful blue sheen on the surface, all the painted area of the circuit as they get on the brakes, really lean on that front left tyre and make their way up the hill. So the race has officially got underway. The timer has been ticking down. We get 25 minutes plus a lap here in Clio Cup. And there is Marc Guillot. I'm pretty sure that he will be quite a happy man to lead this field away for now, knowing that he's got Nicolas Milan right behind him. Both of them with 1 win each this season. Marc Guillot has finished on the podium 4 times though, and all of them have been second place. He's just been within touching distance of a victory on multiple occasions, but not quite able to get to it. Maybe today is that day for him where he can get another one for his tally. He's another driver that's very experienced though. He's been doing this for a really long time. There's Marc Guillot. He's a great laugh as well. The field now making their way through Rivazza. That is Christian Ricciarini in the 107 machine, lifting the left rear wheel off the ground. It's one of my favourite shots of these wonderful little Clios. They really lean on that front tyre. They just bring the rear off the ground. And this is another moment where you get to see a bit of that as well. Look at the weaving there from Nikola Milkovic, the 211 car just at the front of his shot. Very aggressive weaving, and that's the difference. I mentioned this yesterday, that you see some of them doing this really long, slow weave side to side, being very gradual with the steering. Other drivers just keep it very much one way then the other. They really shake the car around. It's almost like a dog when it shakes water off its coat. It's a very silly analogy, but you'll get what I mean. We have Alex Lanchalotti dropping down the order here very, very quickly. He's just gone flying down the timing screen. Not sure if it's a transponder issue and it's just delayed. Yes, he has just, there you go, he's just popped up on your screen as well on the left hand side into 12th place. Still a lot of standing water there offline at the Villeneuve chicane. That's where we saw a number of drivers make moves yesterday, most notably Jerezy Spinkovic overtaking David Pouget around the outside there, but I can tell you now the drivers will not want to risk that one. Safety car is going to be in this lap, so we will get underway properly with maybe just under 20 minutes left to go. We'll be behind the safety car for a good minute and, well, maybe at least a minute here. You can see the tyre tracks in the road, look though, where they're moving the moisture around on the surface. Drivers maybe not just weaving to get heat in the tyres, but maybe just to try and put the car in as many places as they can on the track and dry a much wider line on the road. Because let's face it, we all know how much of the race these cars spend side by side. There is never a shortage of action in Clio Cup. And something tells me that this race is going to follow on from that. There is Giacomo Trevi, car 116. Third on the grid in terms of the Challengers Cup. He's got Mathieu Lenapedon right in front of him in that 111 car. And then 2 cars ahead of that, just in front of Felice Gelmini. Here's Jerzy Spinkovic. Beautiful shot as the cars make their way up to Variante Alta there. Lovely reflections off all the trees and everything above them. Reflections off the road as well. Looks beautiful as they make their way into the very tricky chicane. You'll see the drivers being very careful of the curbs here in this second race as well. Plenty of the curbs still holding a lot of water. The Formula Regional race earlier on, they didn't really venture out to a lot of the curbs. Look at Marc Guillot warming those tyres. He's always so aggressive with it. The front wheel comes off the ground. He's throwing it around that much. I love watching Marc do that. He really does have that control of the car absolutely in the palm of his hand. But he's gone early. He's gone for it at Rivazza. Even a lock up there by Pouget. But as they come out of Rivazza, we are underway at Imola. The safety car is in. Race 2 of the weekend gets properly up to speed now. A number of the drivers will be careful here because if you haven't seen before, I can tell you for free that the slipstream in Clios is massive. Absolutely massive. So drivers will be tucked up behind one another, but careful not to overtake. Gelmini side by side there with Spinkovic. He's gone around the outside of him. He's maybe going to have a look at Gerardo. No, he backs out of it. Just slots in between the two of them. But again, that's the sort of thing that Gerardo got looked at for yesterday, when he was alongside, not too long after the line. Gelmini gets a wonderful cutback out of Tamburello. And he's alongside down to the Villeneuve chicane. Looks like he's got a great run on him as well. And down the inside, just makes it to the apex. Now Gerardo's offline here. Can he come back at him? He does actually. Anthony Gerardo. That is a highlight of how Anthony drives. He's so feisty. That's Lorenzo Nicoli, speaking of feisty, around the outside of Gabriele Torelli, who drops a spot. Trevi looks down the inside of Richie Arini, who has overtaken him already. Those two swapping around in the early stages. It looks nice and tidy so far. I'm not seeing anybody drop down. Not seeing anybody reported as off the road or any problems there. So, oh, there's a problem. Pouget straight on. I say straight on. It was just very deep into Piratella. Looked like he was just pushing as hard as he could on the brakes. Couldn't quite get the car turned in. You can see them all tiptoeing now down towards Acqua Minerale, using that apex curb. That is one of the curbs that even when it's wet you can really attack it. Still side by side here. Is that Gerardo on Pouget? It is. Gerardo up to 3rd place now. Wonderful stuff by Anthony Gerardo. Gelmini skipping and hopping sideways. Oh, Torelli as well, getting a real bobble on through there. Giuseppe Pantia decides he doesn't want to go through the chicane. look at the cars, they're really attacking these curbs. There's Quinto Stefano side by side as well. Gelmini now under attack, actually, from Pouget. Huge lockups down the hill. Spinkovic suddenly appears out of nowhere down the inside of Pouget, mugs him off again like he did yesterday. And Pouget again for the second race in succession. Whoa, Gerardo steps out wide. Pouget finds himself losing multiple places in one go. He was leading the race yesterday, and then by the time they got to the Villeneuve chicane, he was down to 4th. Gerardo and Gelmini, though, two absolute stars, very exciting drivers. Gelmini, of course, very well versed in TCR racing. Spinkovic, very young driver, but a very, very good one at that. He's certainly learned where to be more controlled in these races as Milan follows on with Gio. Those two working together as part of the same team to bring home some strong results here. Gelmini tries that cutback again. Look at how aggressive he turned the car in there on the exit of Tamburello. Whoa, that is Puccetti with a lot of damage. Puccetti had a big old accident yesterday on the way down to Tamburello at the start of the race, bounced off the side of Yuri Ospanov's car and took 2 more with him. And it looks like that weekend has just got even more difficult for them. I would not be surprised to see a safety car for that. The car is completely stationary on the way into the chicane. It's in a dangerous place. And Gelmini is under investigation for his start of the race. And that does not surprise me, because we saw that Gelmini was side by side very early on with Spinkovic. Here's a replay. This is going to be Puccetti, I imagine. Oh, he's already around, and oh no! Oh, it was not a good rejoin, I'm afraid, by Puccetti. The safety car is called. Well, it was inevitable after seeing the amount of damage and the stranded car, of course, but Puccetti clearly had an incident, and just the rejoin was atrocious. He just expected everybody to just avoid him, basically, and just try and go around him, but Aquamale in slippery conditions. Very, very damaged. Not a lot left of the front of that machine. Now, I started commentating over in the wonderful world of sim racing, online simulator racing, and to be fair, we see many a rejoin like that in the world of sim racing, where there's a lot less regulation and, well, no license tests or anything to pass for that, but that sort of thing should come naturally to a driver. You'd expect to not just pull back in front of traffic. A real mess, unfortunately, there. But it seems like we have to just wait to resume the action here at Imola. Quick rundown of your top 20 then. We've got Marc Gio ahead of Nicola Milan. Felice Gelmini up to 3rd ahead of Jerzy Spinkovic, who is the highest driver in the Challengers Cup at the moment. Gerardo, car 5, P5. Pouget is 6th ahead of Ricciarini. Nicoli, Lanapoudon and Torelli round out your top 10. Alex Lanchalotti has actually moved up from 12th to 11th. He leads the gentleman drivers category by a good, well, 11 cars. We then have Cosimo Papi in 12th place ahead of Nikola Milkovic. Nico Abea is 14th ahead of Jusso Pantia. Guillaume Mayo 16th. William Mazzetti in 17th ahead of Jacopo Jimenez in 18th. Then it is Sandro Subek, the Austrian driver, is 19th. Although that has all just moved around now because Lanchalotti's transponder has suddenly kicked back in. Trebi is 13th ahead of Milkovic, Abea, Pantia, Mayo, Mazzetti, Jimenez. Subek is 20th, and I was going to mention him earlier because he was showing us the top 20, so it's worth giving a mention to 21st placed Thomas Pekar. Like I said, he started 24th in this one. Not the sort of grid position we expected. He was great, absolutely great to watch last season. Just doesn't seem to quite have the pace this time round. He's being outperformed by his teammate at the moment, the Finnish driver Jusso Pantia in car 50. Identical liveries, minus the wing mirrors and the huge flags on the roof of the car. So there's a big Finnish flag painted onto the roof of Jusso Pantia's car, and then Thomas Pekar has a Czech flag on his. You can see a wonderful backdrop there in the background of Imola. It's been fantastic driving to and from the circuit each day. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous place in the Emilia-Romagna region of northern Italy. It's my second visit to the circuit in as many years, and it's been fantastic both times. Fantastic programs as well. The racing that we've seen this weekend has been phenomenal. We've had TCR Italy with us, we've had Top Jet, we've had Formula Regional as well, Italian Formula 4. It's been great, great entertainment. But of course I'm biased towards the Clios as the most entertaining series. We just need to make sure we get this safety car in and crack on with some racing. We had to cut the race short yesterday actually, because we were running close to the curfew at the end of the day. It reached 8 PM and the race was called a lap short. I'm wondering if the safety car is going to come in this lap, but no, we still have the yellow lights on the top of the beautiful Megane that we have as our pace car here in Clio Cup. Or safety car, as I should address it. It is not a pace car as such. As you can see though, we have a very bright and beautiful field here in Clio Cup. Wonderful liveries on show. They're not just white Clios with different coloured wing mirrors like we used to have in the UK, in the Clio Cup UK. One of my very favourites is the number 99 car of Guillaume Mayo. You can just see him there behind the orange car of Yuso Pantier with the neon yellow highlights. Guillaume and his team at GM Sport won the livery competition in 2021 in this championship. And if you ask me, they've probably got it in the bag again this year. I know I said that yesterday, but I have to reiterate these things and make sure that the drivers and even the organisers know how I feel about it, just in case my vote weighs in at all. There's Danielle Pasquale. He started right near the back of the grid in 40th place. I cannot currently see him on the first two timing screens, which go down to 36th. So unfortunately he's not made much progress as of this moment in time. At least one more lap behind the safety car then. You can see the tyre warming and the weaving is not quite as aggressive as it was earlier. Well, maybe not in the case of Christian Ricciarini there in the white and black car. Really throwing it about. Yuso Pantier doing what his countryman Kimi Raikkonen used to do, where everyone's weaving. He'd just sit in a straight line. But then, just as I mention it, he decides to start weaving around. Marc Guillot will be quite happy though, to be honest with you. He's not really received much of a challenge so far from Nicolas Milan. They may be teammates and you would expect them to work together, but they do battle when it comes down to it. They will scrap with one another. We've seen it at previous race meetings. We had Guillot actually make a move on Nicolas Milan at Nogaro in the first race meeting of the season. And Guillot went on to win that race. Nicolas took his first overall race win just yesterday here at Imola. You can see Gerardo actually cooling the tyres by running through. There's actually a few drivers doing it. Lana Poudon doing it as well. I think Giacomo Trebi also doing that. There's a wet section on the right hand of our shot there, and drivers are keeping the tyres in a good operating temperature by just running through those wet patches. It sounded like somebody got very out of shape for a second there, didn't it? Somebody's certainly having a moment. There's Jerezy Spinkovic in a very bright and very striking, unique racing machine. Two of them out on track. His teammate Chen Han-Lin is 31st at the moment, the Taiwanese driver in car 58. And there you can see, look, the dry line through Acqua Minerale. It's very narrow. It's literally the same width of the cars, I should say. Plenty of pieces of debris offline there as well, though, which we will hope that the drivers do not collect. But the safety car is in this lap, so we will get this race underway. We should have at least 9 minutes worth of racing left to go with that extra lap. You can hear the cars hopping and skipping over the curbs. You hear the tyres just making slight contact with the surface. And the safety car is on its way down the hill to Rivazza, another part of the circuit that honestly, until you've seen it in person, you do not realise how steep that is when you drive on the road around the circuit to enter or leave. You will see just how incredibly steep it is. It's no wonder people lock up on the way down here. Guillot gets going then. Onto the throttle, back up to pace through Rivazza. Gelmini has done a great job there and sticking with Nicolas Milan. Now don't forget, Gelmini's earlier start was under investigation. Gerardo got 25 seconds for it yesterday for being side by side at the line. I feel Gelmini has actually backed out a little bit there to make sure he's then got a later run down towards Tamburello, but Milan is now getting some big slipstream off Guillot. This could go one of, well, about 7 ways right now, as Milan says, right, stuff it, round the outside I go. into the race lead. It's exactly what he did to Pouget yesterday, and it's cars 1 and 2, now P1 and 2 for Milan competition. He says to Gio, you know what, mate, you've got this really quick Italian bloke behind you. You're defending from him, not me. Gelmini sticks his nose down the inside. Nicoli was side by side with Pouget there for 6th place as well. Marc Gio's car hiding behind Nicolas Milan there. Looks like Pouget has held off Nicoli, I should say, for now. Look at them tiptoeing their way round the Villeneuve chicane. They're side by side in the background. Somebody is definitely going to hit one of the wet patches there. That's Mathieu Lanapoudon. He has got Papi in there with him in the number 6 machine as Pouget and Nicoli get very friendly. Gio trying to defend from Gelmini for 2nd place. Gelmini's alongside. He's got the run out of Tosa. Spinkovic has got a front row seat for all of this as well. While his rival in the Challengers Cup, Ricciarini, has a fight with Gerardo. Gelmini goes 2nd. Great stuff for Gelmini. He was telling me that he's had stomach pains and problems with his eyesight recently this week, so he's happy to be up where he is, fighting where he is. We saw him on a number of occasions last season, and he is incredibly fast. It's no wonder that he competes in TCR at a higher level. Look at all these lot here. That's Mazzetti with Trebi in there as well. Thomas Pekar. You've also got Subek. All of them absolutely glued together. There is Patron, as my colleague David Addison calls him. Nicolas Milan leading the little quartet that's breaking away, actually. 5th place, you've got Ricciarini now ahead of Gerardo, Nicoli, Pouget down to 8th place. Pouget started 3rd on the grid. He's really not had a good run of it here. Milan puts the car in the middle of the road. Huge lock-up from the rears as he tries to get it turned into the apex. Gelmini, you can see him clinging to the back of him. Spinkovic really, I imagine, enjoying himself right now. He's got fantastic pace in that car. A real improvement from last season. Gelmini is tucked in the slipstream now, and keep your eye on that white, black and orange car of Spinkovic. This is going to be 2 by 2 now in flying formation. Much like the Italian Frecce Tricolori down towards Tamburello. Gelmini stays in the slipstream as long as possible. Look how close he is to the back of Milan's car. Gabriele Torelli does the fastest lap of the race. Around the outside goes Gelmini, thinks better of it. He's going to try that cutback again that we've seen him do, isn't he? Watch, he's going to get the car all the way over to the right. He's going to back out of it now, and he's going to fling the car left. Look, really pokes the nose down the inside. Milan is wise to it. Gelmini doesn't quite get it right, though. He didn't get the sort of initial hook into the corner that he would have wanted. He turns in a little bit earlier for Villeneuve. But if there's anybody that knows how to defend and keep a level head, it is Nicolas Milan. This quartet, though, really catching me out here with how far they are breaking away from the field. You see Gerardo there in the background trying to hold off a number of drivers. Lanchalotti and Papi in there with them. Mathieu Lanapoudon has actually dropped down a long way here. You know, he's down into 18th place on my timing screen. He was much higher up the order earlier, so I'm wondering if there's been some sort of issue there. Still running though, I think. Have to wait and see when they come through the next sector and just see whether the car shows up. Look at these top 4 breaking away though. Cars of all colours. Really pushing hard though, aren't they? You can just see a visual difference in the body language of the cars compared to those behind. Now this is something further down the order. That is a big lock-up by the 118 machine there. That is one of the Oregon team cars. That's Andrea Cordini. Now, I say it quite a lot, but these Clios originally were made as rally cars. These little Clio Cup machines, they were originally converted from rally cars to being Clio Cup. Now they're purpose-built, but Cordini obviously showing us there that you can still take them rallying, as a number of drivers do across the season in Clio Cup. He's not going to be the first one to go off circuit, and he's definitely not going to be the last. Look at that by Gelmini, really attacking the car, and attacking the curb into the final corner. 3 minutes and a lap left to go. Nicoli runs wide in the background. He's going to be under attack by Gabriele Torelli as he dives out to the left, tries to go all the way around the outside. Nicoli says, all right, then you want to go that way, go all the way over there, mate. Torelli in the Faro racing car. And here comes Gelmini, again looking at Milan, just trying to put that pressure on. Looks like Torelli still down the inside of Nicoli in the background. Gelmini again taking different lines through Tamburello. You can see just how they set the car up differently through there. Launches it through the left-hander, and he is absolutely glued to the back of Nicolas Milan right now. Headlights ablaze on all of these guys. And the sun is very much shining once again at Imola, and it's shining very much on Nicolas Milan right now. He's doing a great job of holding him off. Black and white flag for René Steenmetz. The number 55 car has had a warning of some description. Now Milan, very interestingly, on the wet line on the way into Tosa, and you know what? It's not just interesting, it's actually sort of let him down there as Gelmini gets alongside. Now you can see he's keeping him to the wet line on the right-hand side of the circuit, or at least their right-hand side. Gelmini stays on the dry line. Steenmetz's warning is for track limits. Now Gelmini's on the wet line on the inside, but he's got the race lead. Beautiful stuff by Gelmini. He set that up a long way back, and he's gone from 6th to 1st in this race. And wow, big slide for Gelmini, gets on the wet line. It's a massive slide. If he makes the apex, that'd be unbelievable, and he does make the apex. Felice Gelmini, wow, he should be in Japan drifting with that sort of qualification. But now it's getting argy-bargy. Milan goes through, Guillaume comes across, gives him a door check as well, a hip check on the way up to Variante Alta. Oh, I think Gelmini might have nearly got in the back of him there. But my goodness me, now he throws it over the curb. Spinkovic goes with him. Unbelievable driving there by Gelmini, because not only did it get sideways on the way into the corner, but he hit the painted part of the circuit on the left as well. Look, he's just dipped a wheel onto the curb. He's got it saved, and then look there, he touches the painted bit, it goes sideways again, and he doesn't really cut the corner by much, does he? Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable car control. And now look at them, Guillaume's going rally crossing as well. Spinkovic forces him out wide. Now Guillaume down to 4th, and he's lost the momentum out of the final corner. We're going to have 2 more laps here at Imola, and I want it to go on for 2 more hours. This is fantastic racing. Gelmini 2nd, Spinkovic 3rd, Guillaume 4th, Ricciarini in 5th, then it's Torelli, Nicoli, Papi is in 8th. Behind him is Alex Lanchalotti in 9th. He's leading the gentleman drivers, and then Nico Abea rounding out your top 10. We have lost, by the look of it, David Pouget's down to 19th position. Something really not going right, especially for Lanny Poudon as well. He's down to 32nd place. I wonder whether some of these guys have got different tyres on, and it's just not coming to them in these latter parts of the race. But this is a titanic battle between Gelmini and Milan. Again, Gelmini keeps Milan to the wet line on the inside of Tosa. Milan later on the brakes. Gelmini just almost scraping the back of the car, gives him a bit of a little rub down the inside. Just checking how thick the vinyl is on the back of that Milan competition car. Look at the reflections there. It's a beautiful shot as they come up the hill. Lovely camera work by our guys here at Imola. And again, into Piratella. Spinkovic looking great here for his 2nd overall podium in his Clio Cup career as well. He had his first one yesterday with 2nd place. Again, Gelmini's car so skittish on the way into Acqua Minerale. Nicely on the brakes though. Spinkovic on 2 wheels as he takes all of the curb. Torelli still with the fastest lap at 206.4. The guys are doing 208s and 209s at the front now. That is very fast indeed by Torelli. All over the curbs once more, one way then the other. Very quick change of direction needed at Variante Alta. When your wheels are off the ground I should say, the car doesn't want to change. The timer has hit 0 here at Imola, and we will have 1 more lap in Clio Cup, and any of these guys, even Marc Guillaume could still win this. Gelmini is late on the brakes, very late on the brakes, down the inside. Milan got the car out of shape. Spinkovic wants to go through as well. Gelmini has a convincing lead now, and if Spinkovic and Milan fight, that will be detrimental to their races. Spinkovic slots in behind him. 1 more lap in the books, and this could still go anyway. Look at this, you've still got the top 8 cars within a matter of seconds of one another. I'll tell you the gap once the 8th car crosses the line, but it's Gelmini, Milan, Spinkovic, Guillaume, Ricciarini, Torelli, Nicoli, Papi, all inside the top 8. Abea and Lanchalotti round out your 10. Top 8, 4.7 seconds separating all of them. Papi does the fastest lap. Milan gets very close to Gelmini. Gelmini really pushes him to the edge of the circuit. So a little lock up there from Milan. And all of a sudden that has wasted the momentum, hasn't it? Spinkovic now looking like he's in the box seat to try and move on Nicolau, but I think Jerezy's just going to hold on to that win in the Challengers Cup here. That is going to be his main aim. And look, he's got a great little cutback actually. That's where he overtook Pouget yesterday. Look, Milan feels the need to defend now. That'll be brilliant for Spinkovic to know that he's forcing drivers like Nicolau Milan to defend as Guillaume makes it to the apex. Spinkovic just slices across the nose though. He knows exactly how big the car is, doesn't he? That was very close indeed. As you saw there on the left-hand side for just a moment, Gelmini has gained 5 places and still leads this race. Here's a moment further down. Whoa, that's Luciano Gioia on 2 wheels. I'm surprised we've not seen more of that actually. We saw a couple of cars roll over here last year. Down the hill though, Gelmini looks like he's in a commanding position here. Spinkovic looking very good, right behind Nicolau Milan. Guillaume still ahead of Ricciarini and Torelli. Torelli bouncing around all over the curves. Ricciarini sticking the car to the left-hand side. Only a matter of corners now though, and it could be, I have to say, a maybe unexpected win for Felice Gelmini if he keeps this one together. Plenty of drivers locking up into the chicane. Whoa, goodbye Gabriele. Well, you can drive out there if you you want. As long as you don't gain an advantage from it, it'll be all right, I guess. Not sure if it's just me, but the back end of Trelli's car looks like it's a lot higher than everybody else's. Maybe something to look at. Look at that, Milan as late as he dares on the brakes. Spinkovic trying to defend from Gio, but Gelmini only has one more corner. The second part of Rivazza to get this done. It's been a fantastic drive by the Italian. He does very, very well in TCR, and now he's doing very well in Clio Cup, much like he did last year. This is exactly what we expected from Gelmini. He takes the win at Imola in the second race of the weekend. Nicola Milan. Wow, that was a hard work second place, wasn't it? A very, very hard work second place. Spinkovic with his second podium in Clio Cup. Awesome drive. Ricciarini is behind Gio in fifth place. Then it's Torelli, Nicoli, Papi, Abea, and Lanchalotti is going to win the Gentleman Drivers' Cup today. Amazing races. Absolutely amazing racing by these guys up front. And you know what? That was as fair as you like between Milan and Gelmini. He got the move done fair and square at the end of the race. He didn't gain an advantage by his slide and cutting the corner. It actually lost him the lead. But Felice Gelmini, when I saw him on the entry list this weekend, I figured he would at least take one victory because he was so impressive last year. And that was exactly what the doctor ordered for him. In terms of your subcategories here in Clio Cup, we've got Spinkovic winning Challengers Cup from Ricciarini and Nicoli. They were 3rd, 5th and 7th respectively. Alex Lanchalotti wins Gentleman Drivers with 10th place. Polderman 2nd in 18th place. And then Gioia actually in 21st is 3rd in that class. I've just been told as well, because I was sort of hesitant on this, but Gelmini's start will have no further action against it, so he will keep that victory. There is no further investigation necessary for his race start. Wow. I came up to the commentary box this afternoon without a drink of water, and I'm regretting that now. What a fantastic race it was, though. What an absolutely fantastic race. Really kept me on my toes, and certainly the drivers will have all enjoyed that one. There was plenty of action. 2 big surprises from that race, though 3 big surprises actually. Anthony Gerardo fell away there to 20th place. David Pouget down in 24th, and Mathieu Lanapoudon down in 34th position. I'll obviously go and speak to the guys after the race and see what happened there, but I feel some of them may have been on different tyres. Maybe had chosen for wets. We saw a number of them trying to cool the tyres, especially Gerardo actually. He's one of the drivers we noted earlier that was running offline to keep those tyres cool, so I imagine that they just completely went off towards the end of the race. And there is your result. Felice Gelmini from Nicola Milan, Jerzy Spinkovic, Mark Gio and Christian Ricciarini. Gabriele Torelli is 6th ahead of Nicoli, Papi, Abea and Alex Lanchalotti, car 92, finishes in 10th position. It's a very hard fought top 10 indeed. Jusso Pantia is 11th ahead of Nikola Milkovic, William Mazzetti, Thomas Pekar and Sandro Subek, with Guillaume Mayo. Jacopo Giuseppe Chimenez in 17th ahead of Stefan Polderman. Like I said, he's 2nd in the Gentleman Drivers. Jerezy Spinkovic and Anthony Gerardo round out your top 20. Then it's Luciano Gioia, Alex Lauth, Mattia Lanchalotti, David Pouget. Unbelievable to see him down in 24th place ahead of Steenbetz, Argenti, Coutinho, Lynn, Stefano and Alcidi, who rounds out your top 30. But there is your race winner, Felice Gelmini. He will be over the moon after the problems he suffered this week. That will be a welcome race win. Beautiful, beautiful drive. Started 6th on the grid as well, so it's not like he drove away with it. He really had to work for that one. And a congratulations from the guys down at PMA Motorsport. They'll be over the moon with that, won't they? Absolutely over the moon. Plenty of smiles and fantastic vibes all around. I imagine it'll be the same. There's Tariq on the right hand side, one of the absolute stars that looks after me over the course of the weekend. And that is a very, very happy Felice Gelmini. Cheeky wink for the camera as well, and he receives his winner's hat. There is 3rd place finisher though, Jerzy Spinkovic, 2 podiums this weekend. Absolutely wonderful weekend for him, really good qualifying results. Nicola Milan, well, you can't argue with a win and a 2nd place. That is as good as weekends come if you don't win both of the races. But Felice Gelmini, well, he'll be over the moon with that one. Yesterday he finished just outside of the podium positions in 4th, so it wasn't exactly a bad day at the office, but a win will be much more welcome for the Italian star. Beautiful conditions once again here at Imola now that the rain has disappeared and the sunshine has come back out. It's certainly looking a lot more like the Imola we expected this weekend. There's Jerezy Spinkovic putting on his very well-deserved Michelin cap for finishing on the podium. And you can see the relief as well. I mean, it may have been raining earlier, but it's very muggy here at Imola. It's very, very muggy indeed. There's a lot of humidity. And there is Karol Dabski as well, and his father Maciek as well, ready to congratulate him and look over everything. So this is a quick look back at how the race started then, and look, there's Gerardo and Puget. Can you believe it? They were once up there early on in this race. Milan right behind Gio from the very start, though, trying to chase his teammate down and break away at the front of the field as Gelmini started to carve his way through from 6th. This rejoin by Pugetti will certainly not go down well, especially with Douay, which was the car that ran into him. A safety car came out and then we got straight back on with it, and Milan wasted no time in trying to get past Marc Gio, and he would stay ahead of him all the way to the end of the race. Gelmini was in the box seat though, ready to try and take advantage of it, and this was the move that got him alongside Marc Gio. A fantastic cutback out of Tamburello, and eventually he would make it up to 2nd before charging on to try and chase down Nicolas Milan. It wasn't without its trials and tribulations though. This by Gelmini. Amazing car control, losing the lead in the process, but still absolutely amazing to watch, and a miracle that the car survived it, to be honest with you. He then had all the work to do again as he hopped and skipped over the curbs, but a move down into Rivazza when Milan went wide was all he needed. There was no further invitation necessary for Gelmini to take the win. A very, very happy man on his return to the championship this weekend in Clio Cup Italy. Flash of the lights and a really, really happy team all round. It's the performance, I should say, that we expected from him, I have to admit. We knew that something like this was coming from Gelmini. It's going to be great to see him back in future rounds of the championship this season. And we hope that we do see drivers of his calibre as well more and more often. It's an incredibly competitive grid though in Clio Cup, I have to say. You know, there's no disrespect meant there for anybody in the field, but Felice just turns up and just has something in this car, doesn't he? He's used to TCR cars as well. He drives a Hyundai Elantra, I believe, TCR car. They were racing at Zandvoort recently where he had a bit of a tough time of it. But here is that slide again, look. Just clips that curb on the left-hand side with the left rear wheel, and he's almost got it saved, but then it gets onto even more wet, shiny surface, and he straightens it up just at the perfect moment, bounces over that sausage curb. And you know what? I think if that sausage curb wasn't there, that yellow sausage curb, he was probably going to carry the momentum, and he would have actually kept the lead. It really upset the car, but there is the beautiful teal design on these PMA Motorsport cars. I really do like the look of them. It's a colour that you don't see on too many race cars these days, not when it comes to a full livery anyway. But Gelmini makes it look good and he makes it look fast, and it certainly worked for him this afternoon. It's been a great weekend here at Imola though. It was looking a little bit bleak on Friday when I arrived. It was very, very wet. I ended up spending half an hour in my hotel room on Friday night drying my shoes out with a hairdryer, and that's not what I expected after arriving last year in 38 degree, 80% humidity conditions. But this afternoon has been wonderful. It's been sunny pretty much all day. We had the shower earlier on during the Formula Regional race. Since then, it has been brilliant. Next up, though, in Clio Cup will be Manicourt next weekend. I was speaking to Marc Gio just yesterday, and he was saying that it's a long, long day for him because it's about 5:25 local time here in Italy. And he has to finish up tonight, get everything packed away, and then he's at work tomorrow morning at 8 AM. And then on Thursday, they go to Manicourt. So it's a long, long week for Gio, but these guys are so committed to the racing that they will do it. There is Jerezy Spinkovic then, 3rd place overall, and the winner of the Challengers Cup in the 2nd race here at Imola this weekend. The young man has really been proving himself this season, and it'll be exciting to see if his form continues. 2nd place, Nicolas Milan. Many times he's been up on the podium, and he will be happy for a bit more silverware or glassware, as we will say. And then your race winner for today for PMA Motorsport Felice Gelmini. A win on home soil in Clio Cup will mean a lot to him, and of course in Clio Cup Italy as well. And he receives the winner's trophy there from Tariq of Renault. Handshakes all round, and there is your podium. And a team member as well from PMA Motorsport will join them on the podium, and he gives his congratulations all round as well. And there you go, the Italian national anthem blasting out around Imola. It doesn't get much better than this. Well, thank you very much for watching though, everybody. It's been an absolute joy this weekend, and a special shout out as well to my Argentine fans that I mentioned earlier on. It's been really, really good fun. We'll be at Manicourt in a week's time. I've been Chaz Draycott. Thank you very much for watching Clio Cup Europe. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. We'll see you soon.